I've had the pleasure of working with Juliet Davison, who's the founding partner of Davison Law, and Juliet is literally one of the best there is in the litigation field. And Juliet, thank you for coming on the show today. And Juliet is going to talk to us about family business disputes, a topic near and dear to your heart, Jeffrey.
Right. Well, near and dear to my heart. It's near and dear to my daily activity. So, and right now I'm right in the midst of a couple of really big ones that are extraordinarily complicated. And you work in a tough world. So why don't you tell us about it?
Sure. Well, first, thank you for that nice introduction. I thought that I would speak today about the area of family business disputes, which is an area where we have seen a lot of cases over the course of the past 5 years, and in particular, family business disputes that arise out of estates and trusts where a very successful and entrepreneurial big personality has created a successful business and passes away either expectedly or unexpectedly. And what's left behind, often with these personality types who are very, business savvy, very creative, very entrepreneurial, what you see is there really is probably not enough time going to what they may think are more mundane areas like estate planning and corporate governance.
Right.
And so what comes up after the person passes away is there's a family business, ownership passes under the estate, and it just can lead to, if the estate planning has not been sort of thoroughly thought through, or the corporate governance issues have not been thoroughly thought through, it really can leave the remaining members of the family with sort of a mess to try to sort through. And so our practice is really in the area of litigation and sorting through the disputes. But one of the things that I would say today, which is not in our area, is that, and sort of not really in our business area, is that, the more time, if more time is spent on the estate planning side and the corporate governance side, then less time will be spent for the rest of the family on the dispute side. So that's time that's going to be well spent.
What's nice is when you have a litigator talk about prevention.
Yeah.
And but what have been have you seen it? What's interesting to me is family businesses. It's obviously been from the beginning of time, and it just seems like even with all consultants and even the best consultants like Jeffrey, you still have a lot of issues that seem to be even more extreme and prevalent. In fact, we were talking before the show, you're working on a number of these cases right now.
Yes. Yeah, well, I think one of the things that's difficult is that the concept of focusing on the estate planning is really not that's not a place where most people who are very successful entrepreneurs, energetic entrepreneurs, want to be spending their time. They don't want
Right.
to be thinking about what happens when I'm not here. They want to be thinking about growing the business and developing the business and making it more successful. But, there are really three areas where I think that time is sort of well spent to avoid these kinds of disputes. One of the areas is doing the estate planning. And so, many of these disputes arise in 50-50 corporation or partnership ownership interests. Right. And within the family, so there are a variety of reasons to do a 50-50 ownership. But where a 50% owner dies and his interest passes to some other member of the family, what he's leaving behind is a deadlock.
Right. That's a good point.
And so there are all kinds of mechanisms. And again, so this is both in the areas of estate planning and corporate governance. There are all kinds of ways to address that issue before somebody dies, to separate voting interests from ownership interests, to give an outright 51% to one of the owners. But those are the kinds of areas where you really want to be spending some time talking through with your lawyer about how that should be structured.